okay. Alright, we're gonna start soon here. I'm trying to... Okay, let's see. Alright, guys. We're gonna try to do this with both chats at the same time. So we're gonna be building, like I said before, like I said in the last live stream that I did, we're gonna be doing a new, like, whoa, I had to move the cameras and rearrange everything. Anyway, we're gonna be building a high-end workstation gaming slash rendering slash live streaming computer using the all-new AMD Ryzen. This is the 1800X. This is the top of the line 8-core 16-thread processor that's available today. It's pretty much sold out everywhere though, last I checked. I had to go to Micro Center really early this morning in the area where I'm staying at to get this thing. So I pre-ordered it, I got it, but the problem was securing the motherboard because the motherboards were all, like, they were going fast. So, the Gigabyte Gaming 5 is completely sold out everywhere. I went with, we'll show it here, the Crosshair 6 Hero from Asus. So this is probably like one of the most popular ones. It's not the most expensive motherboard. It's actually the second most expensive one. You can see here what it looks like. We're going to be unboxing all of these live. I have not opened any of this stuff yet because I just, like, it's been sitting in the trunk in my car like the whole day. So, yeah, we're going to be doing this in real time. Not sure exactly how I'm going to fit the case that I have on the desk here, but we're going to try. And then I've got... So, okay, that's the motherboard and the CPU. We have a Samsung Evo, this is 960 Evo, 1 terabyte NVMe SSD. So this is an NVMe SSD. So this is basically like the future of SSDs. This is way faster than a typical SSD, which is already way faster than a hard drive. So we're going to be going with this. This is really good for speeding up load times in games. Like, basically, if I were to be streaming League of Legends and I had this, I'm always going to be, like, the first person that's completely loaded up in the match. So there's that. For RAM, for memory, I went with Patriot Viper 32 gigs. These are two DIMMs. I guess I can go ahead and open them up here. Because it's relatively simple stuff. But, yeah, two, there we go. It's kind of reflective, there we go, of the Viper, 32 gigs. So if I wanted to upgrade to 64, I would basically double this, get 2 more of these later. And that is on 2666 speed, and it is, the cast latency timings are, I believe, 15, 15, 35 at 1.2 volts. So these are actually pretty good. The timings are pretty good. I did a video on that. And then we have, for the graphics card, we actually have a carryover. So this is not a brand new, like, NVIDIA graphics card. This is an AMD R9 Fury. So this is one extra one that I had because I have another one. So I'm not using Crossfire right now. But yeah, this I could potentially crossfire with the one that I have right now. I'm actually using a Nitro, which is a slightly newer one. This is last year's. Actually, this is actually from like 2015, but it's still pretty good. Vega's coming out, so I'll probably be replacing this at some point. So that's the graphics card, and then for the cooler is a Noctua NH-D14. This is actually the Socket 2011 edition for the X99, X79 motherboards. So that, along with the adapter kit. But as we will see when we unbox the Crosshair actually is backwards compatible with AM3. So I wouldn't actually need to use this with the motherboard that I have, but I'm still going to use it anyway. So the last piece is actually, hold on. It is the case. which is actually going to be really hard to show, but the case is a Corsair 600T. So this is actually my primary case. I took out my Intel computer that was in here ahead of time, like 2 days ago, and I threw it into one of my other cases. So it's emptied out. We're going to be using this. I'm not sure how I'm going to film this. That's going to be an interesting part of this live stream. And then we have a Corsair RM850 modular power supply already pre-installed in there because I didn't need to take it out. So yeah, that's basically the case. Well, I don't know in what order I'm going to be doing any of this. Probably should take this top thing off, take the sunroof thing off. Just put that to the side. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. I don't know how well you guys can hear me, like when I'm like over there holding up the case like that, but we'll see. Alright, so let's move on to the other webcam so people can see all the parts. I think I need to increase the lighting to help. So if those who are watching on YouTube, actually there's only 2, but there were a few others, but maybe they got annoyed because it took so long. But anyway, I guess we'll do the motherboard first. So Crosshair 6 here. This is gonna be weird opening this like in reverse, because I'm actually behind this thing. So we open it up. It says "Welcome to the Republic." Here, switch to the other camera. You guys can see that it opens up pretty interesting. They have this like weird like slide out deal. Okay, let's check this out. Okay, so pretty straightforward. There we go. I'm trying to center it. Did the camera mess up? Yeah. Hold on. This is a really old webcam, so I may have to try a different setting on it. Ah, okay. Okay. So this is it. I like how they've gone, and this is actually like machined off here, and I don't know how well you guys can see that. I'll take it out of the box here, and then I'll like put it on the other camera. So there's some other stuff in there in the box. There's basically like the driver, there's a coaster. If you guys watch like any other unboxing videos, you would know what else is in there. I don't think we need to refer to this. Let's see. We have to move that later on. But yeah, this is actually pretty cool looking. It's been a while since I've actually looked at a motherboard brand new. Let's see. You guys want to see this on the other camera? Because the other webcam is a lot better. Maybe we'll just probably switch to this one. I'll have to change the angle on it. There, that's probably better. Yeah, it looks really good. Like I was saying, the heatsink here for the MOSFETs, which are basically the VRMs, are like machined off. Let me try to show it on the other camera, or I don't know. But the good thing about that, the good thing about this is that it increases the surface area by making these line grooves. It actually improves the surface area, so it actually improves heat dissipation for the VRM. So it's actually pretty good for cooling purposes. How do I get this out? Let me see. That's interesting. So they actually put the Alright, I'm trying to toss that over there. I may have to reuse that. But for right now, that's it. You can see it's got a lot of USB ports. It has 8 USB 3.0, looks like 4. So you got This is like your BIOS update and reset MemOK buttons, I guess. Then actually in here, it's really hard to see. Let me see if I can get that on camera. In here, where there's a gap, you can actually install a Wi-Fi M.2 E-key Wi-Fi card here. So you can actually add the Wi-Fi antennas later on if you wanted. That is one thing I don't like, actually, is that they did not pre-install it already. Like, I would have preferred that they already just pre-install the Wi-Fi. But you do get a lot of USB ports. You get there's 4 USB 3, 4 USB 2, then 4 more USB 3, then you actually have your gigabit Ethernet, and then you get like 2 USB 3.1. There's like Type C, and then there's like the full one. Then you have it's probably easier for me to use this hand. You have your built-in audio, and this is like an optical one over there. So, yeah, as far as the layout of the board, obviously here's where the RAM's gonna go. CPU goes there. This is the socket thing. We're probably gonna be removing those to install the NOC 211. And then we have your PCIe X16 3.0. Another X16, so if you're running like Crossfire or SLI, these will be at times 8. And then you have like another PCIe times 4, where it's like 4 lanes to this one. You can see because there's like less actual electrical contacts here. And you have your PCIe X1. So these are where you would install your console capture cards, like an Elgato HD60 Pro, which is a pretty popular one, which a lot of live streamers on Twitch use. And then another one would be the Live Gamer HD, which is what I use. It's an older capture card, but it actually gets the job done. So, and then over here, you've got 8 SATA ports. These are for like hard drives and SSDs. Then here, down here, this one here is where we're going to be installing the NVMe. So that's where this guy's going to go. And this is got a 1 terabyte NVMe drive, which is going to go there. So, yeah, it's Datura. It's relatively big, but it is an ATX motherboard. It's not like an eATX. If it was eATX, it'd be even bigger. It'd be like longer this way. But yeah, this is an X370 board, so it's pretty much like the top of the line one, or it's like the highest chipset available. Yeah, got a new subscriber. Icy Kung, thanks for the sub. Let's see, are you in the chat? Can we get somewhere? I don't know. Maybe he's a lurker. I don't see him in the chat, but anyway, we'll keep going. Thanks for the sub. And then we have down here, one thing that's weird is like if you're accustomed to the previous like motherboards from the last, I'll say, since like 2012, the 3.0 header traditionally was mounted up here. Now with this one, they've actually moved it all the way down here, and then it's right next to where your power reset connectors go, and then your USB 2.0 would go here, and then yeah, you've got like your MemOK, your start button, and all this random other stuff if you're going to be overclocking. That's going to be there. Your sound, integrated audio, Supreme FX. It's hard to see. I'll try to show it again. That shiny, reflective, mirrored finishing that says Supreme FX, that's the sound chip for the integrated audio. It's like 5.1 surround. And then you have like all these capacitors here to help clean out the noise, so it's not really staticky audio. Moving along here, we have the south bridge down here. This is going to be where your SATA connects here. Then there's interconnects and traces that go up to the CPU and the memory. So yeah, it's pretty standard. We can see that it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's got 12 phases. These squares that you see here are the inductors. So I don't know if there's anyone in the chat that's like a double E major or anything, but you know what an inductor is. Basically, the more you have of these, the better your lump circuit elements are to your MOSFETs, so you get a cleaner power delivery. So it can help aid in overclocking and just overall stability of the system. So that's really good. I do like these big chunky heat sinks because those are actually really good for cooling the VRMs. And that's also one of the reasons why I chose the Crosshair 6 Hero. Not because it's an Asus motherboard, but because the way that they've actually set this up is actually really good. Like, I was actually considering 2 other motherboards, One being the MSI Titanium. That's like the highest end motherboard. It's a $300 motherboard. That one's really good. And then the Gigabyte Gaming 5, the Aorus line one, that's also really good. That one's that's like the third most expensive, I believe. And then ASRock had the Taichi one. But anyway, you got your fan headers here, everything. So pretty standard stuff. We'll put this to the side here. Actually, you know what? We could probably unbox the Evo and install it. Or we can unbox the RYZEN chip. We got the AMD Ryzen here. We'll probably unbox this. And we'll install this. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and install this first. So cut this. I'm gonna unbox the CPU next, for those wondering. Last time I unboxed a CPU was June of 2013. So, not a whole lot in here. You get the CPU, and there's probably some instructions on how to install it, but I already know how to do that. And then you get the case sticker, the new RYZEN sticker there. Oh, someone wants me to unbox the Evo. Pizza wants me to unbox the Evo, so we'll do that. So this is the Evo, 1 terabyte, M.2. We'll do that next. It's probably easier for me to go from over here. Yeah. Samsung puts these really weird looking stickers on here. Oh, look at that. I opened it perfectly. It doesn't actually have a crease. Like, that's rare. Most of the time you open something like this, there's always a crease. But look at that, there's like no crease on that. That's Pro right there. But actually this is the Evo, not the Pro. That's funny, because there's actually a Pro line, which is a lot more expensive, but it's not worth getting if you're a prosumer. That's really if you're doing like I guess a data center type of workload. So Samsung, solid state drive. Pretty standard, and then you open it up, and whoa, that's cool. You get... And there it is. It's really small. Wow, I did not know it was that small. I've never actually held one of these before. That is small. That is 1 terabyte. Really fast. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and install that here. I think all I gotta do is there a screw or something that I gotta take off? I think it just goes in like... Oh wait, is that dual? Is there 2 of them? I think it just goes in like this. Wow, I'm actually surprised. It looks like there's a second one? No, there's only one. Huh. Okay. Just kind of goes in like that. And then you'd have to secure it, I think, like this. So we'll get the screw later. I don't have the screw with me right here, but yeah, it'll go there. So that's the Evo. Oh, the heatsink. Yeah. Yeah. There's no heatsink. The memory modules are like right underneath the sticker. And there's nothing on the back. But I think it'll do fine. Yeah, that is interesting. I've never actually installed an NVMe drive before. So we'll leave that to the side. Now let's get the CPU. So it's got the RYZEN written on it here. I'm gonna open that next. See if I can open that. Oh wow, I opened that one also without creasing the thing. I don't know how I'm gonna like close these and like do that again. Where can you download more RAM? I don't know. You can try the internet's. Maybe the internet's has some. And there it is. There's a little RYZEN sticker here. It opens up. And there it is. Wow, these pins are really small. So this is a pin grid array. You can abbreviate that to PGA. So the way you install an AMD CPU is pretty straightforward. There's a little arrow. It's usually on the southwest corner. You open the retention like this, and you locate the little arrow. It only goes in one way. You don't ever want to press down on it. You just want to like let it drop on top of that, and then you just put it down, and that's it. The CPU is already installed. You can turn it upside down. It's not going to fall out. So that's secure. This I'm not actually sure how to install. I'm actually, to be honest with you guys, I have to figure out how to install this. I don't see, I thought there was going to be like a screw on top of these holes here. I thought it was going to go like on one of these, but I don't see one installed. That's interesting. We'll have to look into that, unless it's this thing. Not sure what any of that stuff is, but anyway, we'll figure that out. For this one, we're going with the Noctua. So we're going with a Noctua air cooler. You'll see it later, but I'm gonna install it next, actually. After the RAM. I think we'll do the RAM next. So we're gonna go with some Patriot 32 gigabytes. This is 32 gigabytes. Each one of these sticks are 16 gigabytes each, which I believe right now is the maximum available. We actually have quite a few viewers for this. I'm surprised on both. Like, wow. This is more than I get for like my typical gaming streams, but oh well, that's cool. So here's the Patriot Viper sticks. They should be able, they're not like low profile, but they're not like super tall either, so I don't think there'll be any clearance problems. So this is also my first time installing DDR4 RAM, because I've never actually used DDR4 before. So the way you install the RAM is you notice that you've got two gray DIMM slots here, and you have two black ones. So it's dual channel, so you want to pick either the two black ones or the two gray ones. And you're going to install each one. Let's see, is that going to go that way? That's this way. So let's see, Asus only has it on one side. We'll go with the black one. Or actually, you know what? Let me see, what's the numbering on here? So we're going to go with A1, B1, which are the two black ones. Alright, so that one's in. Next one, it's going to go in the third one here. The other way. So it's pretty straightforward. You just kind of line it up. It's been a while since I built a PC too, so I'm surprised I still remember how to do all of this. And on camera live too, right? Should go in... Oh, how do I do that? Creative channel? You mean the community? Oh, yeah, that's right. Creative, good idea. Let's see. Where's creative channel? Creative talk shows? I don't see where... What's the category? Creative? Creative FR? Creative gamers? Creative minds? And then we're playing, this is gaming, this is talk shows. Alright, we'll fix that. There we go. So that's the RAM, blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure what to do with this Evo thing. That's the only thing I'm confused about right now. Because I thought there would be like a screw already pre-installed on here. Unless mine, for whatever reason, didn't come with one. Then we're going to have to figure out a workaround for that. I'll have to like call Asus or something. Okay, so we got RAM, we got CPU. I really wish I could install this Evo. Maybe it's in the motherboard box? Anyone know how to install an NVMe? Like, does the screw come with the motherboard? I would think that it would. Now I gotta go look in the box. There's like all this random stuff in here. Okay, well here's the I/O. Oh, here it is. I found it. I think I found it. So you get this thing. Yeah, it's in the box, guys. I found it. And here's the ASUS Q connector. I don't know why it's so small. Here's it comes with an SLI. There's an NVIDIA SLI high bandwidth bridge. And this might be it. So let's see what else is actually in here. You get a bunch of SATA cables, some like fan splitters or whatever. So someone said change game from talk shows to creative. Creative. Okay. Creative. Good idea. It's got a lot of people. Community creative mind. I don't know what the community is supposed to be. Anyway. Alright, so now we're gonna do the cooler. This is probably gonna be like the hardest part of the whole thing, but Noctua is actually really easy to install, as we'll see here. Even though it's a massive, massive thing. It's huge. I'm just trying to clean up so it's not like too cluttered, because I don't know how I'm gonna get the case on top of this desk, but we'll try. We'll try to make it happen. All right, I think I found it, guys. I think this is one of these things. Either this. Okay, it's not this thing. This thing is something called a 3D ASUS 3D printing mount. I don't know what that's for. And then this looks like the NVMe screw. So this is what I need to open. Drop these down. Alright, so now we can install the Evo, because I was so confused on what I'm supposed to do with this. So what you do is you figure out what size it is, and this looks like it's going to go to this one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So mine's going to go on the third one. So you put the little bolt in here, like this. I'm surprised how this isn't too hard to do, doing everything upside down, because the camera's in front of me, so I think it just goes like that. I think you just kind of like push it forward. There we go. Okay, it clicks. This is where a screwdriver comes in handy. You press it down. And you screw this here. You don't over tighten it. I never over tighten things. It doesn't need to be in like super, you don't want to crack anything. So there is our 1 terabyte NVMe SSD. This is the thing that will make me always be like first load in the League of Legends match. Like first, like absolute first. It doesn't even matter what game. Like this, I'm first. Someone's in raid 0, I'm still first. So yeah. 1 terabyte SSD. That's like super fast. Okay, here we have the yeah. This is spongy. I actually really like that. It's not like it's gonna cut me or anything. Some people stream as a community. Oh, that's cool. Okay, now we're gonna install the Noctua cooler. Okay. This thing is really big. Let me try to, I don't know, you guys want to see the normal camera? Alright, this is the, let me turn this light off. It's not needed. Put that there, hopefully that does not fall. Alright, so let's get this open. So the thing that I'm looking for in here is the thermal paste. That's really the only thing I think I need. Oh, actually, there's gonna be a couple other stuff. So this, it comes with like an L-shaped, like, you can actually reuse this Phillips head screwdriver thing. And then it comes with this is the 2011 one. So this would be like your fan splitter and other accessories. You got a bunch of other stuff, which I don't think we're going to use, but I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. Whoops. And then this instruction manual, which I do not actually need, I think, because we're going to be using the AM4 mounting kit instead. This one is for if you were going to install like a 6900K, like a $1,000 Intel CPU, you would use this. See, it says Intel set, so we're going to ignore that. We're not going to need it, so I'll just like throw it over somewhere. Yeah, just put that over there. So let me know in the chat, what do you guys use? Like, what are you watching this stream on? Like, what computer do you have currently? I'm just curious to know. There's something else in there, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm actually going to use any of this stuff. Oh, the fans are somewhere. They're probably at the bottom. Is this a fan? I don't even know what that is. This is what's in this? Nothing. Okay, so we'll just throw this stuff away. This is the cooler. There's the mounting plate. You can see it's reflective. How much is this build cost? That's hard for me to tell because some of these parts I've had like in storage for a couple of years. Like the cooler is like a $75 cooler. The motherboard is a $250 motherboard. The CPU is a $500 CPU. And the RAM is like another... Well, DDR4 is kind of retardedly priced right now. So, oh, I like it. This opens up really... What the... This opens up really... Oh. That opens up really interesting. Interestingly enough, it does like this. It just opens up like that. That's crazy. It just opened up like a... Like, look at that. This is the cooler, guys. Noctua with their signature, like, poop-colored fans. The big one in the middle is a 140 millimeter. But it has a frame size that is only 120 millimeter. So that's interesting. And then it has a 120 millimeter on the front. So the Drunken, I logged in when he said what it cost. Why is it so bulky? Because it is a high-end air cooler. This air cooler that you see here is better than a 120 millimeter all-in-one liquid cooler. And it is equivalent to a 240 millimeter liquid cooler, all-in-one liquid cooler. So this is roughly equal to a something like a Corsair H110i or a anything that's like a double. Like if it's a radiator that's like this, like that long with 2 fans on it, this is equal to that in terms of the cooling performance. So we're gonna be using this for overclocking, of course. That's why otherwise. And it's also extremely quiet. The Noctua cooler is actually quieter than a lot of the liquid coolers. It's way quieter than a Corsair. I mean, not a Corsair. It's way cooler. Well, it is quieter than a Corsair, but it is quieter than the Evo 212 from Cooler Master, and it's a lot better than the Cooler Master also. So, yeah. It's not the best, but it's good, and I like it because it's silent. It's really quiet, and it gets the job done. I'm actually using this. I've been using this same cooler in the computer you see behind me over here. That's an AMD FX 8350, overclocked to 4.7 gigahertz. It's got an NHD 14 on it. And I have another one of this, like in the computer that's actually live streaming this right now, is using one of these on a 4770K, overclocked to a 4790K, so it's actually 4.4 gigahertz. So yeah, that's this. Now we're gonna switch it over here again. Let me get my light out so it's easier for you guys to see, unless you find it easier to see without this light. Why not Cooler Master V8 GTS? Because this Noctua cooler is a lot quieter than the Cooler Master V8 GTS. The GTS is loud. Trust me, I've tested a lot of air coolers. I actually went from liquid back to air. I used to use like a Corsair H100i. I didn't like it. It was noisy. The pump was noisy. The fact that I have water in my computer, like, nah. I'm just gonna go air. Just, it simplifies a lot of things. The only thing that it makes it more challenging is the placement, and also like let's see, is it gonna fit? Oh, looks like we made it, guys. It's not even, I'm looking at it and it's funny because this fan here, the second fan, this one out here, just is right above this RAM stick, so it doesn't, it's perfect. There's no like clearance issues. Alright, make sure I don't get any like dirt on there. Okay, so it has a plastic thing on it, but we'll be mounting that here to the motherboard shortly. To do that, we will need this. That's why I prepared the NMAM4. Let's open that up. You can see this is the mounting kit for the Ryzen CPU. The instructions are included right here. Yeah, it's large, but it's quiet and it gets the job done. And I'm a real stickler for noisy PC. I don't like noisy CPUs or noisy coolers and fans in general. The Noctuas are super quiet. So, and if it can handle FX 9590, then yeah, I'm sold on that. Okay, so first thing, we have to install this stuff. Looks like this piece. Wait, let's get this whole thing out first. Okay. So first part is this. This, like, there's like, it's like spring loaded. That one, the other one. Yeah, see, Pizza knows what's up. Pizza knows what a good air cooler, what a good cooler in general is. Like, this Noctua, it's like, it may look ugly, it may look big, but hey, it's quiet, and it cools just as good as a liquid cooler. So, I can't find any fault with that. Let's see. Might help if I have the instructions again. Okay, so we want to orient the cooler sideways like that, the way I just showed earlier. So we're going to do, let me see. It actually looks like these are already installed on the cooler, so I actually don't need to use these. Yeah, I don't actually need that. We can skip that step. I'll put those back. See, guys, this is like real. This is like live real. So it's like I don't even know what I do and do not need out of all these things. Let's see. So all I need to do is do the part for this motherboard. So to do that, we will need to remove the existing ones that came with the motherboard. So you can use their handy Phillips tool thing, which I don't think it's magnetized though, so I'm probably going to use my own one. But it's very nice of them to include that. So you don't actually need like your own tools to install a Noctua CPU cooler. So we're going to remove that, and this is actually good because it'll show people that this particular motherboard is actually backwards compatible with AM3. And I think it's the only one, as of now, it's the only AMD AM4 motherboard that is backwards compatible with the old AM3 coolers. And the reason for that is, if you look carefully, it has, well, it has the cutouts. But we will have to, let's see, do we have to remove the... Okay, all it says is to remove that. Do I have to remove the socket on the back? No, I don't. That's wonderful. So I get to keep the AMD mounting socket on the back, which is this, like, black, silver, well, it's painted black on this motherboard, but this big metal-looking plate that you see here, on some coolers, particularly like Cooler Master or some other people like Corsair, you actually have to remove that, and you don't get to keep it on here for the cooler. But for the Noctua, we get to keep it. So that's great. That saves another step. So that's why Noctua is just wonderful. Alright, what else? Okay, we remove that. Now we want to put the... I believe we're gonna be using the long ones, which are these cool looking, like boomerang looking long ones. Let me see. Yeah, it's gonna go like this. Like this? It would have to go like that. It's gonna have to go above these capacitors. There's a bunch of capacitors, like 2 capacitors here. They kind of like arch out that way. I'm trying to think, like, how is it gonna look? Because if I put that there, then where does... Well, if we do it wrong, then we'll have to do it the other way and put the other ones here. My guess is that this is the right way to do it. Something tells me that this is the right way. This is the right ones. So the reason why I'm pausing here is because if you look, they actually give you 2 different sets. They give you the one that mounts, like, if you want the cooler to blow the air like this way, like go from here to there, then you need one. If you want to do it like this, so like it pushes the air up and out of the case, then you use the other one. So I'm gonna go with the one where the air like comes in from the front of the computer and it flows through the cooler and then out the back. So I think that's gonna be the big boomerang ones. Alright. So what do we do now? We get these. They look like little, like, washer things. You just put them on top of the existing ones from the AMD AM4 backplate. You just put them there. Look how easy that is. It's like building with Legos or something. So you put those there. Now you put this thing on top of it. Yeah, so that goes like this. And the other one goes like this. And then you get... Are these screws like different size than the other ones? Actually, are these the same as them? Oh yeah, these are a lot longer. So then you get these screws that are like this long. And then you put them in there. And that's all you do. Wow, that's pretty easy. I assume I'm using the right ones. Let me make sure I'm using the right ones. I think I am, because the other ones are probably, like these smaller ones, probably go... I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to use the longer ones. I'm pretty sure it's the longer ones. So that goes like this. And I'll tighten the rest of them, like after I get all of them in there. Wow, this is pretty easy. You can see, like, I'm not even using any tool. Like, I'm barely using any of the provided tools. I'm just kind of like doing this by hand. Because you know what? It just works. Okay, now we'll use this. And again, You do not have to over tighten anything. Like I go, see, notice how the board is automatically moving on its own. See how it just like moves on its own? That's when I know that it's reaching the limit. I'm barely applying any pressure. I'm just like rotating, and then when I reach a point where it can't rotate easily, unless I force it, then I know I'm done. Then it's like, no, you don't go anymore. A lot of problems I've seen with people like messing up is they over tighten the screws and then like crack something. It may not damage it initially, but it's like it will shorten the lifespan of the hardware. So okay, so now we have that like that. Now let me just see, what do we do now? What is this? Where does this go? All right, so he did that. Oh, you know what, guys? Yeah, we did what I thought we did. We messed up. So we didn't mess up, but we did mess up. We messed up in the sense that this is meant for mounting the cooler that way, and I wanted to go this way. So I have to redo this. I have to take these big long things off, and we're actually going to use the shorter, the small looking, like machete looking, knife looking things, like these things. We actually got to use these instead, so I have to redo this. So obviously you guys can tell that this is not scripted or nothing. Like, I don't know, like I'm just doing this like completely live, real time. But anyway, now we know that if you're installing a cooler that pulls the air down and then up, you use the big long one. And if you're not, then you use the shorter one. Yeah. Oh, somebody was asking how much does the fan weigh? I guess you mean the cooler. The cooler is actually pretty heavy. It's not super heavy. I can try to find that on the box. Let me see. It is, if it tells me. Okay, the cooler is 1.24 grams. That is, as you see it here, with the fans installed. Without the fans installed, if you want to use your own fans, it's 900 G. So this is 900 grams, and it is basically 1.2 G. So 1240 grams with fans installed. So it's pretty heavy. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's almost about right. Yeah. So it's a pretty beefy cooler, and that's why it's able to cool. That's why it's able to cool just as well as a 240mm liquid cooler. Okay, so mounting these, the screw thing you see here needs to be up, and that's because that's going to connect to the cooler itself. Oh wait, I'm still doing it wrong. I think it goes this way. Yeah, it goes that way. So it goes inward toward the CPU. So it points toward the CPU. But I will admit, like, another reason why I like Noctua's coolers is because they're so easy to install compared to Cooler Master. And the worst one, well, not worse, but just the most challenging one to install is Zalman, the Korean company that makes air coolers, and they also think they make a couple of liquid coolers, is Zalman. And theirs are the most ridiculously challenging, overly complicated things to put together. But I will admit that the Zalman ones, Zalman has style. Like, if you look up the Zalman CNPS 9000 with the red or the blue LED, those are like the coolest looking air coolers. It's like a it's like a donut shaped air cooler. All right, so let's see. Now I think I should be able to. Yep, that's right. Now it's gonna fit. Okay, so now we remove this. There's the shiny like mirror, and now we need to apply the thermal paste. Actually, put this back. Put it back real quick because I need to find the thermal paste. Thermal paste is in here. All right, we're going to be using the NTH1. Oh, you have a custom loop? The Drunken? Drunken has a custom loop? A 360 is a custom loop. Yeah, that's going to outperform this. Alright, so here we go, guys. This is where you put the thermal paste. So you just kind of do, I don't like to put a whole lot. So I kind of put there. You don't need a whole lot. That's the other mistake I see a lot of people do. So you can see we put a little pea drop in the middle. All right. Here we go. That goes there, and then you just put it down. We have no clearance issues. Just checking to line everything up. All right, so I got one side. I got the side that's facing me lined up. I gotta figure out where the other one's at. It'd probably help if I turned it toward me. GG Asus motherboard. The bottom of it's like just being dragged. Yeah, I'm gonna turn it all the way so I can see, so I can line up the... Oh, and this is why this thing is so useful, because it's like you can get at it from an angle. But I'm also going to want to pull these out too. Oh, another thing you guys could do if you're having trouble is you can actually like uninstall the fans. You can remove, get this thing out, get this guy out of the way. So, or just lift it up, but we'll just get him out of here completely. So that will make things a lot easier. Now I can actually get in. It was actually going on without me removing the fan, but it was kind of like hard to see. See, and that is actually pretty easy. And these things are spring loaded, so they know when they've kind of hit the bottom point where they're not going to go any further. And that looks like that's at its limit, so we go and finish this one. Hey Vash, what's going on? Or Vash? Hey, yes, yeah. Alright, so that's it. Cooler's installed. I just gotta put the fan back on. That's pretty easy to do. You just put it in here, like so. Let's see, line it up. I want it to be centered. Okay. There we go. Down more. And you know the nice thing about this also, this air cooler, is that it does provide extra cooling for your VRM, because this fan in the middle actually goes way down in the socket, down there, like very close to the socket. So it pushes some air across this VRM. So that's a nice added bonus of using a massive air cooler like this. So now we have the cooler installed. I'm going to move the fan cables. Actually, I'm probably going to like, well, I'll probably just put them on a combiner here. So we have the two, you can see them up here at the top. Believe it or not, that doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. I've been using it since 2012 on an AMD computer with a Crosshair 5 formula on 8350 since 2012. And that motherboard still works like it's brand new. And I had that thing overclocked to 4.7, so that's a pretty old CPU. Okay, so I will combine these later when we connect everything up. Right now, we need to get this thing into the case. So now comes probably the most challenging part of the whole build. And not because of the case, but because it's gonna be hard to film this, because that's a pretty large case, the Corsair 600T. It's a pretty old case, but it's a really good one for a mid tower because it's very wide. I'm trying to get all this stuff out of the way. I guess I'll just toss everything up here. Keep that. Get this Noctua thing out of the way. All right. Samsung, everything. So we have everything installed. Now we just need to put it in the case and connect the power cables and install the graphics card. And we're done. All right, let me move this over here. I'm going to try to get the case to fit on my desk. I don't know if it's going to fit or not. Yeah, this is going to be a lot more challenging than I thought. I'm going to take the back off. And we're going to push these cables out of the way. Get that stuff out of there. I guess people probably want to see what's going on right now. Let me change to their camera. Okay, so this is the Corsair 600T. You know what? I don't actually need my headset. I just realized, why am I wearing my headset? Okay. Get this out of the way. So this is the case we're going to be using. This is pretty big. If you ask me. So this is a mid tower, but it's a very big mid tower. It's like an oversized mid tower. So we're going to have to fit the case. Basically, the motherboard's going to go here, up against this part. Let's see. How am I going to do this so that you guys can actually see what is going on? This is heavy too. GG power cables. They're all being crushed right now. But I think it's okay. My audio cables are also being all like crushed right now. Okay. That'll do. We'll have to do it this way. Let me see. Can I get this camera like here? Oh, maybe that'll work. Hold on. Let's see if I can get a light. Can you guys like hear me? Hold on, let me move the mic up. Whoops. Sorry about that microphone movement, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can see it's like dusty. That's pretty nasty. So I've had this case for a while. You can see the RM850. Oh, you can't hear? Hold on. Can you hear me now? I probably should have muted this before trying to adjust it. Alright, whatever. Anyway, I think you guys can hear me. But yeah, that's pretty nasty, dusty on the floor of the case there. But it's still really good. Okay, anyway, so, hold on. I don't know what to do with this lamp. I'm like standing here holding this lamp. Let's just put it over here. Hopefully that's, no, that's kind of dumb looking. What about from back here? That'll work. Okay, so now I just gotta get the motherboard in. The motherboard is like crushed up against, you can't even see it, but it's like all the way over there on the other side of the case. So I just gotta clear all this stuff out of the way. So the nice thing about reusing an old case is you don't have to reinstall the power supply and all that stuff. Although it does create some challenges initially when trying to get everything in. So I'm just gonna like shove these guys out of the way here, like all the power connectors and all this stuff, fan headers. I'm just gonna put all that stuff back in later. So I'm gonna push all these guys down, get them out of the way, so it's easy for me to get the motherboard in. All right, thing that I always almost forget, this thing, the I/O shield. You open this, and there you go. Nice thing about a lot of these high-end motherboards, like the X370 line from AMD, this chipset, it's squishy. You can see that. It's not like super razor blade sharp, like it's gonna like cut me and stuff. So it's really nice. It's very easy to install this. So as I was saying earlier, you can see you can install a Wi-Fi. This is Wi-Fi here. You can install like that later, but still kind of disappointed the motherboard did not come with that. So I'm just gonna put that in. All right, let me try to show you guys like. So there we go. You can see the I/O shield. It's padded. It's padded. That's really nice. That just goes like that. Okay. And next, we will do the actual motherboard. Okay. The other thing, too, that's nice about an air cooler like the Noctua that's massive is you can, like, pick up the whole thing from the cooler. So I'm holding it by the actual Noctua cooler. I'm not holding the motherboard by itself. You definitely don't want to do that when you have a heavy cooler like this. You want to hold it by the actual motherboard. Also, make sure that you install, if you have a new case, you have to make sure you install the motherboard standoffs, but I think in most modern cases they're already installed. So then after that, you just kind of line it up like so. Make sure none of these cables are underneath it. Then it's just a matter of lining it up like that. And I think we're in. I think that's it. Just trying to make sure that I'm not like on top of any cables or anything. Move camera higher. Oh. Hold on, I'm trying to get into a light. I'm using my cell phone as a light. See? Hold on. The camera is kind of at its limit. So yeah, it just goes in like that. I'll lift it up once I get the screws. So I'm just gonna make sure that I have everything lined up. So it needs to go a little bit more to the left. But other than that, it looks like it's good. Or I guess I could also center it. It's kind of hard because the... What do we... Huh. There was a VGA, like a plastic thing from a graphics card in there. That was funny. It's been in my case for years. Okay. I think we're good. Now I just have to go and get the motherboard screws here. So you can see this is a 600T, like this. Thanks, Teddy. I like my shirt too. So the case is the thing that comes with the speaker. Just put that there. Remind me not to forget about that, guys, if you still see it sitting there like 5 minutes later. Just gonna pour everything out and look for the screws. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 4, 6. I'm short 2. 7. 8. There we go. I got all of them. All right, we're good. Where is my screwdriver? All right, let's do this. Yeah, it's hard for me to see. I'm gonna need one of these. I'm gonna need one of these like light things. Hold on. It's hard for me to see because there's a light like blaring right in my face right now, and then it's kind of dark because of all the like the case and stuff. So we're gonna have to use one of these. All right, so where was I? I like to put the one that's in the corner. I guess we can move this over now that the motherboard's no longer like in the way anyway. All right, so I'll show you guys. I prefer to install, so let's see what we got here. We have that one, 1, 2, 3, 4, this one, 4. And then now on this case, on the Corsair 600T, it actually has like a little nub that comes up here, so you know if you're lined up correctly. So there's no screw that goes in that one. And then so there's that one, then there's another one like over here. Wait, you guys can't see it. Over there, then one down there, then one there, then one there. You can see the EVO drive is like right there. So that's actually really good. One thing that's good about this motherboard is the placement on the EVO, like on the M.2. So the M.2 is actually really good. It's not underneath where the graphics card would go. So the nice thing about that is that it's not going to overheat, or it's not going to be subjected to all that heat when you're playing a game. For extended periods of time. I hope I have the right screws for this. This doesn't seem like it's... Okay, yeah, that's right. Seems like it's kind of cross-threaded. I think the motherboard needs to go in more to the left. Okay. Yeah, I really hope these are the right screws. Okay, that one went in really easy, so they are the right screws. It's just that one's being difficult. Yeah, it's dusty. This is the computer. This case that you see here is the one that I use for my Twitch live stream channel. This is the case for my live streaming computer, or was. Well, it is still going to be it because we're going to be using the RYZEN CPU for live streaming. But anyway, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We got to put a few more here. So this one. And again, I don't over tighten anything because I don't want to like over torque on the motherboard. So when I get to a point where I can't like rotate it like this, I'm done. So that's pretty much all there is to it. It's pretty easy to build a computer. Just add extra immersive and aesthetic. What? That's an awesome comment. Just add extra immersive and aesthetic. I like it. Okay, so that's in. Everything looks like it's in right. Good. Okay. Evo, RAM, cooler. All right, now we just start connecting everything. I installed the what looks like a mic. What's that one? Oh, this? Actually, that's a really good question. This is an ESD strap. So what this does is it grounds me, so I have it connected on the other end. It's connected to a large metal surface, so I don't accidentally, if I pick up electrostatic charges, you know, like when you touch a doorknob and you get shocked, you never want that to happen to electronics. That can actually completely kill your motherboard. That can kill your CPU. That can kill a graphics card. That can kill everything. So it's very important to, at least if you don't have one of these, you need to touch a large metal surface prior to actually touching any of these delicate electronic components. So that's actually an excellent question. So I'm glad you asked that, Leagues. That was a really good question. Okay, so now we're just going to install the power supply connectors. So the big 24 pin goes first. Gonna get that in like that. Right, so that one's in. Now I will have to I'll have to move my this is the USB 3.0 connector. I'm gonna have to actually move this down because the old motherboard, like I said earlier, it goes in the middle, but now the Asus Crosshair 6.0 has it way down over here at the bottom. So I'm gonna actually have to like relocate this. I'm gonna go ahead and plug in my SATA cables because it's much easier to plug in your hard drive cables. So I guess I'll show you guys here again what I'm talking about. So what I'm talking about is these with my SATA cables. So these are for your SSD and your hard drive. So it's very easy to install them here. Well, before you install your graphics card, because if you start installing your graphics card, then you're gonna have to try to like get everything behind it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and plug all these in right now. Actually, what's this? This is the graphics card PCIe power cables. So those are gonna stay over there. We're gonna just get this in there. 1, and then 2. If it'll go in, you can see you've got like I don't know if you guys can easily see that, but that's probably upside down. It's a bad angle, but you can see it's double layered. So we got like a total of 8. You can actually have 8 hard drives installed on this motherboard, because this is a pretty high-end motherboard. Most of them, the defaults are like 4 to 6. So we're gonna install that. I'll just put this one all the way down here. I don't know, because that might be on an as media, so I'll just put it up here. So that's all 3 of those. You can see I already have 1 hard drive already still left over. I took like the rest of them out, because these are where all my like backups for my Twitch archives go. So I can like edit those later, or if I want to make highlights after Twitch has deleted them from the server, so I can do that with these. But anyway, that's where you put your hard drives, or your traditional SSD. They would go in like these things. And then here's my intake fan. So that pushes air this way toward the camera, and then the air like flows like this. So it goes this way, and then this fan will like push it this way, and then out the back. This is the rear fan. Then the top fan also will be spinning, and it will like pull the air up this way. So the airflow is like this, actually. Okay. So that's good, because now my Samsung Evo, that's a 1 terabyte SSD, that actually heats up quite a bit. I was looking at the reviews on it, so that's cooled properly. You know what? Maybe I should just leave the camera here. No, that's kind of a weird. I don't know. I'll just put it back so you guys can see as I work on this. Alright, so we're going to move this guy down, get him out of the way. You know what? Let's connect the CPU fans first. I might have to take this off so I can rearrange it. It's no big deal. So you can see it's pretty easy to manipulate this stuff. So I'll probably put this guy like so that I can plug him in at the top. This one will go like this. I want to make sure I'm not touching the heat pipes. Let's see. I will put these on a combiner, which came with the D14. So the Noctua cooler actually comes with a lot of very useful things. It comes with a Y cable. This is a Y cable splitter. So what it does is it can take 2 fans, like this one and that one, and you plug those in here, and then you take this one, and this goes to the motherboard. That's exactly what I'm going to do here. It also comes with an extension cable. This is an extension cable. That's useful sometimes for the front fan. And then they also include two low noise adapters. So literally all these are resistors in the middle here. They're just like little resistors that they slow down the voltage, or the current actually, so that your fan can't spin as fast as it normally could. So it actually makes the fan quieter. So depending on how loud these are, I will install these later. So right now I'm not going to do that. So, okay. This one goes here. Hey, Saksham, what's going on? Alright, I'm going to put the other one, so you can see how easy this is. Alright, now let's see, am I going to put this guy I'll put him like that, so it's easy to work with. And then we'll put this guy here. I have to put my fan back on. 1, 2. Then we will just plug this into the top, the one that says CPU fan header. Actually, you know what? I'm probably gonna flip this guy. I don't know. I don't think I need to do that. I think it'll fit, or it'll reach all the way. No, it won't. All right, we're gonna have to flip the fan to rotate it. The middle one. So what I want to do is get the wire like this way. Okay. Why not rotate middle fan? Yeah, good. Yep. Nice. Good comment. There's a delay. So let me just put it back in here. And I try to seat this middle fan as low as I can so it can provide more cool air to the socket as well as to the VRMs in the back. Alright, so see how those wires are like this now? So now it's much, much easier. This is the Y cable. So this way, both fans are controlled by one CPU header on the motherboard. So if we look here, I'm going to connect it into the one that says CPU fan. That's this one here. Alright, and I'll like tie these down later. So that's the CPU fan. Why not rotate? Yeah. You know what? This may have actually been better if it was the other way. If it was like the other way. Because they weren't in the way before. Let me rotate this one because it's easier to get out. And then we'll take a look at it. Yeah. This looks better for cable management reasons. So I'm gonna rotate it. Flip the other one. The what? Oh, the motherboard is an Asus. It's an Asus Crosshair 6 Hero. Let's see, what's the best way to do that without completely like wrecking this whole thing? I guess put it like that. I'm just checking, guys, to see how far down I've gone to the socket. Okay. So, what I'll probably do, you know what? I'm probably going to install each of these individually into the motherboard because my motherboard has two CPU fan headers. Crosshair being a pretty high-end motherboard, you get 2. So I'll install this one here and the other one there. Alright, that looks a lot cleaner. Alright, so CPU fans are installed. What else? Now we gotta figure out how to put this guy, relocate him. We got SATA cables installed. Yeah, so now would be a good time to do the motherboard connectors for like the power switch, the reset button, the hard drive LEDs, and this little guy here that we almost forgot about. Alright, I'm going to put that guy over there. Oh, there's the rear fan over here. We're going to need to connect that to the motherboard as well. I just have to locate an available header Probably put them over here. Yeah, wow, the Asus motherboard has a lot of fan headers. This guy over there, that's probably okay. Figure out the cable management later. There, that's good. Okay, so this fan is installed. These two fans are installed. We got to install the front fan, and I think that one's gonna come from the bottom. It's gonna slant, like go in on the bottom of the motherboard. All right, so now, what's this? Another fan header. I guess this one can go here then. All right. Okay, so that's another fan. I guess that was the front one. So now all my fans are actually installed. Why not rotate middle fan? What do you mean? It pushes the air up out the top right now. So it's, I guess you're trying to refer to the positive versus negative pressure on the airflow. That's a really weird angle to look at a computer case. Let's take that dust filter off. Yeah, that's nasty. That is a nasty dust filter that needs to be cleaned. Yeah, what about the top fan? Alright, we're going to connect all these up later. Right now what I'm doing is, hold on, you guys get to see the back of the computer. You can see this mess of cables. My RAM is 2666. Cache latency is 15. Or 14, I forgot. I think it's 15. So it's roughly, I don't know, whatever, it depends on your cache latency also. So this guy here is going to have to go to the bottom of the motherboard, so he's going to go back down here. Alright, so you guys can't really see it, but all I'm doing is I'm plugging in this thing. This is for the USB 3 ports on the front of the motherboard. I mean, of the case. Alright, so that's plugged in. So now I have my USB 3 on the front. Now I need my USB 2 on the front. That is going to be one of these. Oh, this is the audio. So this right here, this is for the front panel, headphone, and microphone on the front of your computer case. This is going to go, again, toward the bottom of the motherboard, somewhere toward the back. So we're just going to send that through here. Alright, now we find the USB 2. Oh, this is, well, I'll do this one last. This is for like the power. So one of these, this is the hard drive LED. This is your positive, negative. Here's power. I know it's blurry on the camera, but power and the reset button. And then we got USB 2. And my motherboard actually has 2 USB 2, but I don't actually use the other one. So I am just going to simply leave that one there and connect this one. All right, now another thing too is Asus. Asus does provide this little, actually all the motherboard manufacturers do this, so if you don't get an Asus motherboard, it's not a big deal. You are still going to get one of these. This is what they call, Asus calls it the Q connector, MSI calls it the M connector, Gigabyte probably calls it the G connector, for all I know. But basically all it does is it makes it really easy to plug in your front panel. I don't know why that's not focusing, but anyway. It just makes it easy to plug in your front panel connections. Alright, so power. I would show you this, but it's really hard for me to see what I'm doing if I like flip the camera around. Hold on, so what is this? Ground and power. I can't tell which one is whatever. Let's see, hard drive LED. Hard drive LED goes like this. I bet they're all like that. And then what is this? Ground, reset, not connect. Anytime you see an NC, the capital letters NC on any of these things for electronics, it means not connected or no connection. So it doesn't go anywhere. And then, okay. Then the last two are your power. You know what's interesting? I remember the last Asus motherboard that I used, which is the Crosshair 5 Formula Z, which is meant to go with the FX 8350. That one had a much larger one of these. So I actually do not know where the microphone connects on this motherboard, because you used to connect it into the M connector, or the Q connector, sorry. This is more like they shrunk it down, and it's now like it's a ripoff of the MSI M connector. Alright, I think I found it. It says speaker, but I don't know which one is which. So anyway, I'm just gonna wing it and just plug it in and hope that it's right. I think the worst that could happen is that it just won't beep, but it'll still be connected. Alright, I found a SATA cable that's not connected. I'm gonna go ahead and connect that for the future. Alright, so now I'll turn it around, you guys can see it. Well, actually, before I do that, let's feed in the SATA cables. Oh wow, what's this? Wait. This is the fan. Oh, this is the front fan. So this guy will come in here, and he will go to the bottom fan header that's like down here. Alright, so that's the last fan. That's the front intake fan, actually, that you just saw me connect there. These are the power cables for the hard drives and SSDs. So there's already one, so I'm going to go ahead and connect him. And then the others will go in the future there when I migrate everything over from my Intel computer over to this AMD one. Alright, and then there's another one. And I'll just leave that there for now. We're not going to need it right now, but anyway. Okay, so now I will turn it around. You guys can see. Alright, so this is what I have so far. So there's, you can see, like it says Hero at the top there. The Crosshair 6 Hero. You can see like the Noctua. The Samsung Evo M.2, the NVMe 1TB drive is like down there. So now all that's left is connect the remaining power connectors. So we're gonna need to connect this one, up at the top here. We're also going to need to connect the... Wait, what is this? CPU power cables. One of them goes in here. One of them goes in... Trying to figure out where it goes. Oh, it goes over here. Why are they like doubled? Oh, okay. Alright, so we're going to have to turn this around again. Oh, that's a actually really good shot of the back. Alright, so I want to get this guy in here. Which one is actually longer? The other one? Did not realize it was going to be like that. Alright, so this connector is actually proving pretty challenging. Turn it a little bit without bumping the microphone. Oh, the speaker is for the beep. The beep sound when you turn a computer on, you hear that beep. It comes from that speaker. It's important because it will tell you the code, like if there's a problem. Alright, so I got that one in. Now I need the second one. Alright, to make the second one easier, we're going to use one of these. An extension cable. So we're going to use one of these little extension cables to make connecting the second. It's actually a 4-pin that I need to connect. Alright. So we just feed in, I believe all you need is one of them like this. So you would connect that like that. Then you would you have to split this. Because I'm only going to use 4, so I'm going to break it off onto one and then just put that one through. Alright, what this one's for those wondering, this is to provide extra auxiliary power to the CPU, and this will help with stabilizing higher overclocks. It's worth noting that it's an optional connector, so if your power supply does not have one of these extra 8-pin or 4-pin, they're called EPS 12-volt connectors, it's okay.